Good evening, everybody. Warm welcome to you from everybody at SSRL. It is round 5 out of 10 in China. We are now at the halfway end of the season, and just before we go into our standings and a bit of background on the track, I just want to bring you up to date in case you are new. First of all, welcome to F1 League Racing, and welcome to the SSRL, standing for Silly Season Racing League. But I promise you, the racing is fully serious. These are your driver lineups as of right now. It is Moksha and Race Chase in the Red Bulls, Herman and Tarkangino in the Mercedes outfit, and in the Ferrari camp we have Trugster and Pleasant Stake. Fellow Sun and Energetic occupy the McLarens, Kavachka and Daryl occupy the Aston Martins, Toby and Danger David occupy the Alpines, Andy Andre and Skid Solo occupy the Williams, Rush Siri and Kwan occupy the V-Carbs, Everall and the administrator of the league, Quincy, occupy the Quick Saubers, Enzo and Jolly Boy John are the last ones to occupy the Haas team. But in terms of your standings, how does that translate? Well, Herman didn't get the best of results last time out in Brazil. He is now only leading by 11 points, so there's a lot to go through for him in order to secure the championship if we get to that point towards the end of the season. Andy Andre occupies third place, your current world champion as of right now, but has had a really torrid start, has not had his best, doesn't yet have a win to his name. Will that change this week? Fellow Son, and while not starting in Italy, got a podium and a win in Mexico and Cota to bring him right into contention, and has so far done 3 out of 4 races in the top 5. He's doing very well for himself. He's 4th. Pleasant Snake as well. Consistently 4th out of 3 and 4 races. Only finishing 9th in Mexico. He is 5th with 52 points. Then, outside the top 5, it's Moksha, Trugster, Daryl, Energetic, and Rush the Siri. Rounding out your top 10 drivers. And outside of that, it is Kavachka, Race Chase, Evor, Enzo, Tarkangino, Toby, Kwan, Jolly Boy John, Tabran and Skid Solo, rounding out the 20 drivers that have taken part in the championship so far. Now, qualifying one is underway, and just to kind of give you a reference to the calendar, halfway point, and it's our first full qualifying session. It is the 3 sessions that you are used to rather than the 1 18-minute session. So we will cut right to the race feed and we will go through your rest of your calendar in due time. But at the moment, we have a full track. The qualifying session is underway. We will be saying goodbye to 3 drivers on this session. So it will be 18th to 16th that we will say goodbye to. We have no information as of right now, but Skid Solo likely to be one of the first to go, and I would say Tabran has a chance of getting out the session as well. Well, I'd say getting out the session, but it'll be very close indeed. Kavachka might be down there. I also expect to see maybe Race Chase in there, but again, he can be pacey at times. But it is the Aston Martin of Daryl in his usual fashion, first out onto the Shanghai International Circuit, which consists of 16 turns and a length of 4.51 kilometers. And in case you need this, it's 3.38 miles. The race lap record in real life held around here is a 1:32.238 by Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari 2004. The F2004, you might so affectionately know that, as it was opened on the 6th of June 2004 and has hosted the Chinese Grand Prix right up until 2019, where a certain COVID came around and rather ruined plans, and it wasn't until 2024 when the country's COVID restrictions were fully lifted and then F1 came back, and of course we had that great moment with Guan Yu Zhou on the start-finish straight, appreciating the fans that came to the circuit. It is unfortunately very likely now he is going to be no longer in F1 beyond this year. It is nationally recognised as an A4 rated tourist attraction. So outside of the racing in China, it also has shops, restaurants, entertainment, and all that good stuff, which come with all your tourist attractions. And extensive groundwork had to be completed, and over 3,000 staff had to work on the circuit during its build from 2003 up to its opening year of 2004, as the fields were flooded due to it being a rice field. But anyway, enough about history. Let's focus on what's happening right now. Daryl, down in 18th with no time at all, is going to be the first one to set a lap as we go on board. He is just coming through turn 6 as of right now on the entry. Heavy braking zone here. Right-hander, get on the exit curb there and go low revs if you can. Now high downforce through here, it is left, then it is right through turns 7 and 8, and then all of a sudden you're completely caught out because of heavy braking zone down to third gear. Now you're going left, it is a double left-hander through here, this circuit having a very unique flow. Then it is a brief straight, put your foot to the floor right up until the 100-meter board, and then it is another heavy braking left-hander followed by a right, and then it is a sweeping right-hander here onto a very long straight. So you want to be on the inside through here, then just come onto the exit curve through here, then you approach the first out of 2 DRS zones. Williams just needs to be a bit careful there, gets out of the way, and as does the Ferrari, just sticking to the right-hand side, allowing Daryl to get his flying lap out of the way. Now it is a steep right-hander through here, right down to second or first gear, and then you execute the turn, and then just a final mid-speed left-hander, and that is a lap around the Shanghai International Circuit, and that's a 1:33.0 with the medium tyres, and most actually opting for the soft. One driver opting for the hards, but 3 for the mediums, and we've seen a hot lap from one of them already. And that was Daryl in the Aston Martin. So now it should be Tark and Gino next across the line with a 1:33.699. Also, hello to Quincy in the chat as well. Did see you earlier, but I was just in the middle of my mumbling. So thanks for being patient there. Now, one of the Ferraris on an outlap will also be next across the line. That will be Pleasant Snake. So he'll be starting a lap, but I do believe we have one of the Red Bulls on a flyer as well, and that will be Moksha here. Moksha showing great pace in that RB, and that's a 1:35.944. Then Energetic follows closely behind with a 1:35.0, so maybe not the best start, as Quan up to third already, 1:34.207. We are so used to seeing him at the back, it's actually a little bit of a surprise he's gone faster. Has Quan found something? Remember, we are saying goodbye to 3 drivers at the end of this session, and 12 minutes is about to elapse as now Race Chase with the 1:32.412 goes up to pole position for the time being. It will be a McLaren next across the line, and I imagine that's fellow Son, and on the medium tyre, he sets a 1:33.988, so we'll see how that compares to other drivers in and around the lap as Quincy jumps to second place. This is a bit of a surprise at the moment, but of course most drivers haven't completed a lap. Next across the line will be Rush the Siri onto a flyer, but then it's going to be Daryl onto another flyer, so he's going to continue on those medium tyres. At the moment, the medium tyres are locking out 3rd and 5th, and then there's Pleasant Snake also out on the medium tyres as well, so let's see how he compares. He's just approaching turn number 14 now, and then it'll be through to turn number 16. So that double right-hander almost, that little kink on the exit of turn 14, also considered a turn, and it's a 1:32.603. So just under 2/10 off of the pole lap time set here by Race Chase. But now it is Moksha to the line yet again, and that's a jump up to 4th. That is a 1:32.982, and well, straight into the exit there, just not to impede anybody. Skid Solo is also out on a flyer as Danger David looking to bring the championship to Herman the German. He qualified last week in 3rd position and was able to take driver of the day and a race win. Jolly Boy John, first of the Haas to come out. He qualifies up into 3rd with a 1:32.535. Good lap from the Haas driver. Now we have one of the Red Bulls approaching the line right now from an in lap or a cool down lap, as now we have a McLaren coming across the line. That was a fellow son improving his time. He's now up to 9th with a 1:33.287. Starting to look like the low 32s, high 31s could be the pace to be on. We'll just cut to Skid Solo for a brief second in the Williams, looking to hopefully not get knocked out in the first session. That's not a promising start at all, as Tarkangino was next across the line there. I think it was. No, that was Kovachka. I do apologise. Or it was somebody across the line there, but I couldn't quite tell who that was. That was actually Daryl, so I do apologise there. Daryl completing a 1:32.945 and up to 5th position as of right now. And I think he's just starting to fly, but then Rush the Siri! Rush the Siri is one we haven't had much of a conversation about, because he was a contender last season, but hasn't quite found his form in the first 4 rounds. And has he finally found something here? If you cast your minds back to when we last raced here in Season 2, he did actually take pole position. It was a 1:41.821 under a wet conditions, so that's why the times went a bit faster. It was in the end the fastest lap of a 1:33.186, but Nasiri couldn't convert pole to a win. He finished in 3rd place with Herman 2nd, and Mr. Wouter actually taking that win as well as fastest lap. So, cutting to Trugster now. So, a bit of a note on Trugster here. He did not get a 3-second time penalty last time out, and he will be looking to repeat that. And I don't remember the last time I said that, because for as long as I've commentated here, he has always accumulated a 3-second penalty, and finally that streak came to an end. And well, he's actually just come across the corner there, and something I wanted to kind of talk about as well. There was an update to the tyre smoke in this game, and it has apparently to the drivers made everything worse, as we see Trugster straight to the top with a 1:31.783, and lots of drivers are complaining about the tyre smoke, but didn't affect Trugster all too much. He is already up into 1st, but somebody the drivers will be keeping an eye on is Andy Andre. Finished 2nd last week after qualifying in pole position, so sadly for him, no, Andy, yep, that's not correct. That should be 2nd place. I do apologise. So Andy finishing in 2nd place last week, sadly couldn't convert pole to the win. Danger David, of course, has been talking about very much for the first half of the season how he needed to improve his qualifying pace, and last week that finally came to fruition. So he's looking to continue the trend into this week as well, especially at the halfway point. If you can just get things figured out and you're only 11 points behind the champion, well, guess what? Well, the championship leader, well, guess what? That usually sets you in good stead for the second half. So David there was quickly to figure out, and look at that tyre smoke inhibiting the visibility of the Williams driver. I don't think that's really made anything better, to be honest. Just on a brief look, as Herman is also on an outlap with just under 8 minutes to go. He is currently just coming around turn number 7 now, the sweeping left-hander. As Brown has actually accelerated himself up into 7th place, so he should be safe in qualifying 1. So a lot of these drivers are going to be a bit conservative in Q1, especially the top guys. We expect Herman to play it conservatively. That's why he's not got on the flyer till now. And Andy Andre right up into pole position. What can Herman the German respond with, I wonder? Has just come out of turn number 6 now, approaching turn number 5, now approaching turn number 6. Has just gone through the sector 1 timing beam now. Of course, we've got no comparison in terms of data. In actual fact, he's taking it slow, and I wonder if qualifying on those hards will come back to bite him. At the moment, Kovachka and Tarkangino are on the bubble to be knocked out. They need to find an improvement sooner rather than later. Both are on 1 lap old soft tyres, and it looks like Kovachka has had a mistake on this lap, or is just cooling down his tires to go again. Let's have a look at Tark and Gino as well. He comes across the line while having a personal best improvement. No positional improvement, so it looks like this could stay the way it is as of right now. But we'll also have a look. Skid Solo on an out lap as well. I do believe Herman needs to find something sooner rather than later, because he does not have a lot of the session left. He's got just under 6.5 minutes to go in qualifying 1, and just really needs, well, I don't know why he's got on the hard tires. I thought he would go on the mediums like everybody else, but evidently feels it's more beneficial to use the hards. And look at that, 1:36.315 as a first lap. Maybe that was a cool down lap, and maybe we have still got the best to come as Herman now starts his second flying lap. We'll keep an eye on him as the session goes through, but now Skid Solo will be one to keep an eye out as Rush the Siri retires from the session, so he feels he doesn't need to improve any further. He's in third and is looking safe. He is nearly 2 seconds away from the drop zone. Don't blame him, really. May as well save your tires while you've got them, and then he will go again into qualifying 2. And look at that smoke being produced from the lockup there. Both fronts there having a bit of a moment going into turn 6, now through turn 7. Looking all stable through here. Let's just go on board with the Williams driver, teammate to Andy Andre this month. Also remember that anything could skew the constructors as well. The top 6 are only separated by 31 points, which is consisting of Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, Alpine, and of course on board with the Williams, along with Red Bull as well. As wow, Skid Solo having a massive moment there into turn number 11 there, through turn 12. He did not get the optimal line there, so he really needs to work on his brakes, it would seem. Look at Herman the German though, as we'll just cut to him very briefly. Very much on the edge. We haven't seen his improvements. I don't think the hard tires were the right call at all. Is he going to bring it into the pits? No, and he's running out of time as well, but this might be a good lap from him. No, it is not. It's only good enough for 15th, so he is right on the edge of the drop zone. I don't think this strategy has worked out, because he only well, either Quad or Kovachka or Skid Solo need to find is a 1:33.4 or lower, and then Herman's out, and he doesn't have a lot of time left at all. Herman, my guy, you need a softer compound, and sooner rather than later. Fellow Son also adheres to this call, but he's on the mediums, and he was improving there in Sector 2, so he looks to have slowed it right down, though, coming into turn 14 there, now through 15. I don't know, that looked pretty slow. This looks very slow from the Hungarian driver. Yeah, it is, so he's not actually going full tilt, so he's going to actually save it for this lap. 3.5 minutes to go. Fellow Son on the mediums, Herman the German on the hards, and these are the 2 drivers we are keeping an eye on. If any of these drivers are knocked out in the next 3.5 minutes, that will be a huge upset and a big advantage for the championship. Fellow Son onto the gravel on the exit of turn number 3 there. Hello, Alteta. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying your league career as of right now. But let's have a look. Herman the German down 1.5 seconds. This is it. He needs to come into the pits. He does. He knows he's not safe, and he's not got a lot of time. Look at how desperate he is. Coming into the pit lane. Looked like a chore. And now Kovachka, I thought was about to start a flying lap, but that's actually his teammate Daryl in 9th. Daryl is safe. I don't understand why he's going on another lap. He's on the soft compound of tyres, and we'll keep an eye on him. But now we have a caution in Sector 1 thanks to slow-moving traffic. Fellow Son not involved in that, but his teammate Energetic is. Now, I'm not sure as to why. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are very close to the drop zone, so that's probably why. I actually don't blame them now in hindsight. But Energetic on 4-lap old softs, those are gone. In the nicest way possible, Energetic. Those softs are gone. They are not going to take you any further. And now we need to keep an eye on Herman the German, who's still in the garage as of right now. 2 minutes to go. He's only really got 30 seconds in reality to set another lap. There we go. We see movement in the garage, but I don't think it's for the Mercedes. It is. Sorry. Yes, it is. I do apologize there. Herman the German has now left his pit garage. You can see the camera focusing on him right now, but we need to cut to Fellow Son, who's in the pits. Fellow Son out of time, so he won't be able to improve, and he'll have to hope that that's good enough. But Kovachka is also on a flyer, as well as Quan. Fellow Son retires from the session. That is brave stuff from the McLaren driver. He isn't necessarily safe, and Herman is out on soft tires as well. So not only that, we are seeing a lot of drivers make a last grasp move as Darrell is next across the line. 1:32.0. He's up to 4th. He'll be safe to go for another session. That pips Danger David down to 5th for the time being, but that won't matter to him. Quincy as well is on a flying lap, on an out lap, but Moksha and Energetic have just started theirs. Moksha just in front of the McLaren as of right now. Kovachka as well is also out, and he's got through. So that means Herman the German is now in the drop zone. Kovachka is safe and sound as of right now. So we'll now... Well, Herman the German is just on the big straight, joining Sector 3 with the start-finish straight, and he's just coming across turn number 14 now. Yeah, I would actually, if I've got time for it, I would absolutely. But anyway, that is another conversation for another time. At the moment, we are seeing Quincy start his flyer as well, but we need to see Moksha is up by 0.2 of a second as of right now, and is just approaching the double... Well, the S section of turns 11, 12, and now 13. So Moksha almost done with his lap. Kovachka is just ahead of him, but of course he's on an in lap, so should get out of the way. The session is now completed. Herman the German got to the line just in time, and he is... Well, don't ignore that improvement there in the top right. But at the moment, we need to keep an eye on, I believe it is Quan. No, we need to keep an eye on Moksha, really. He's just passed the slow Aston Martin of Kovachka and is now approaching turn 16 there. Takes that rather beautifully. Let's see what the time is going to be. It is a 1:32.0, but just half a tenth off of the Aston Martin of Darrell. So Moksha will be safe. What about... Quincy? He's just going through the long right-hander of turn 13, and it is Herman right behind him, but we've got Quan completing a lap. He will not go any further. He is out. So now, Tarkagino, can he get himself safe? He's up to 13th. It could be Fellow Son we say goodbye to, and that is in the hands of Herman the German. Nobody else. So Fellow Son, say your prayers, because Herman the German is approaching the last few corners of Shanghai, and he could be safe. He's left it late, but boy does he make it great. And now through turn 16, Herman the German, your championship leader, comes towards the line for the fastest lap of the race, and we say goodbye to Fellow Son. He is one of your 3 drivers knocked out of the session with a 1:32. Herman the German batters the entire field. What a lap from the Mercedes driver, and that is why Herman wins championships. That was an incredible lap, and boy, the fields are thinking, how will I beat that? 1:32.2 was Herman the German's time to go fastest in qualifying 1. But the 3 drivers we say goodbye to are Fellow Son, Quan, and Skid Solo. Fellow Son will have to start from 16th position, and that is an upset for sure. Both McLarens on the edge of being knocked out, and Fellow Son was the one that had to be pipped. But now, qualifying 2, we have a 15-minute session as we say hello to Trent Booty and Fellow Son saying, oh, I messed up big time. Yes, you did, my fella. Mediums aren't safe. Not always. Even Herman learnt that, and he was on the hards for a good portion of that session. 13 minutes of that session was spent on the hards. But now we will go to qualifying 2, and I do not imagine we will see that tyre difference translate from qualifying 1. The only reason drivers would actually do that and just go on, like, let's say the hard tyre or the medium tyre is to literally save a set for the actual race, which will come. Now, of course, if you are new to proceedings here in SSRL, we are having our first out of 2 full qualifying sessions, which is a knockout session you would see in the real-life Formula 1, as I do believe Daryl has followed suit and is the first to be out, as he always is. Daryl following tradition, and we see a Red Bull and both Haas drivers and an Alpine there, just going on to the pit lane exit there, as well as a V-carb. That will have been Rush the Series. So Jolly Boy John, Danger David, Tabran, Jolly Boy I've already said, and of course we have Daryl here, who will lead the field out for another session of qualifying. So from here on out, we will say goodbye to drivers who qualify from 11th to 15th, and then it will be a top 10 shootout for 12 minutes in qualifying 3. So at the moment, I don't know who's going to really come through here, because I imagine Quincy's going to go, one of the Red Bulls is going to go, one of the Haas's will go, and I do believe from the qualifying we saw just now, we will be saying goodbye to Kvachka and Energetic 6 as of right now. Those are my bets. Hedge yours in while you've still got time. I know Fellow Son has about, let's say, 27 minutes to kill as of right now, so he could definitely put in a suggestion or two. I'm sorry, Fellow Son, it's just easy. I don't mean to make fun of you, I swear. But as of right now, Daryl just doing his thing, and there is a Haas just catching up to him. So now it is optimal. You need to leave space so that you don't get trapped in the dirty air of the car in front. Everybody just warming up their tyres on the long, long straight that separates turn number 11 from turn 13 from turn number 14, and now Daryl gets his foot down, and we'll start to see a flying lap, and he will be the first to complete one. Everybody on the softs, like I predicted. As wow, a Haas was looking like he was having a bit of a squirrely moment there, but in actual fact was trying to decide if he wanted to visit his alien overlords or not. Watch out for my comeback, says Fellow Son, as we are watching at the moment Daryl in the Aston Martin try and find a way into qualifying 3. Will be the first driver to complete a lap. He will need to be in and around the low 32s to high 31s to have a chance, well, to be considered safe, in quotation marks, to go through to the final qualifying session. Remember, that will be the top 10, so he needs to be outside of 11th to 15th to go through. Daryl, though, looking like he's very stable here. He's always the first one to go, so at least he'll be doing the other drivers a favour in Track Evolution. And in case if you're new to F1 and maybe League Racing in general, Track Evolution is where the surface of the track is dirty, so the tyre doesn't actually make full contact with the surface of the track. So what you can do is you can hire some track cleaners if you want to, or you can just do the latter, let the drivers race, let the drivers clean up the track, and then you'll have the track fully rubbered in. And most do indeed go for the latter, just to save a bit of money. So oftentimes you'll see over the weekend of a Formula 1 race in real life, you will see the times gradually go down, and then in qualifying there will be insane lap times, and of course drivers trying to find the racing line. But Daryl, first to complete a lap, he will be up into the 132s right away, and that's low 32s, so that's about where he needs to be as of right now. Next across the line, one of the Haas drivers, that was Tabran, and then his teammate Jolly Boy John next across the line, and they round out first, second, and third, and Danger David with a low 132, but then Rush the Series with a high 31, and so the time's coming in thick and fast in this second session, as we expected. Moksha still in the 133s, as is Jolly Boy John, so these two are definitely in trouble. What about his teammate Race Chase, who's just approaching the start-finish line now? He's up into third place, a 132.0. Race Chase with good pace as of right now. Both Red Bulls as well have worked well together throughout this season, but at the moment they are lying in 5th position, 30 points behind the leaders Ferrari, who haven't put a foot wrong as of right now. Truckster as well just coming through turn number 13 to turn 14, as Kvachka will be the next to set a flying lap. What's his time going to be? It's high 33.9. That was nearly a 34. Not the pace he'll want to be seeing, as Quincy up into 6th position with a high 32. He'll be within the top 10 once the drivers have filtered themselves out, but not going to be the safest as of right now. He will need to go again within the 10-minute period as Truckster nearly invalidating his lap there. That is a quick time. The Ferrari driver of Truckster struggles with his race pace, but in qualifying, he's an absolute beauty to look at. And he jumps right up into the time of Herman, just slightly slower. But he is doing a fantastic job, and Andy Andre will be the next across the line. And in fact, we haven't really seen the championship holder perform in these first 4 races. The best result he's had as of right now is a 2nd place, which he earned last week in Interlagos in Brazil. But it was only by half a tenth where he lost the win. There was nothing to separate David and Andy on the start-finish line. Most drivers now coming into the pit lane to get a fresh set of tyres. Andy at the moment still using his, well, still has a fresh set of softs to boot, so he will be trying to take advantage of these. He's got the kick Sauber of Quincy in front of him. Herman the German is also on a flyer. He's just approaching turn number 6 right now. These two were in hot competition till the end of the season last time out, but unfortunately for him, Russ Nasiri, well, fortunately for Andy, Russ Nasiri making unintentional contact with Herman in Saudi Arabia after a safety car restart, which basically handed the championship to Andy there. I wondered what his emotions would have been like, but now as we go across the line, it's a 1:32.051 for the Williams driver. That puts him 3rd as of right now, so still a bit behind the times here. Herman on these softer compounds of tyres, the next driver on a flyer, although I say that, Darrell is also apparently going faster as well. We're just coming on board with him now. He's going through turn number 15 and will be approaching 16 as of right now. Does he go into the pits? No, he wants to complete the lap, so this must be a good lap from him. Let's see what it is. It's a 1:32.0, so it's a 10th improvement. Pips Andy of 3rd position as of right now. Not that positions matter. You just need to be inside that top 10, and then you're pretty much good to go. Now, Herman the German next across the line. That's a 1:32.0. That's 1:32.345. I do apologize. 345. That's a nice combination of numbers. And now Pleasant Stake will be, who's currently on an outlap, but Herman the German, just to kind of go back to him for just a second, 1.1 seconds off, nearly. So over a second to find, and maybe needs to go out on another lap as Race Chase is the next across the line, and he goes up into 2nd place. So all of a sudden, Andy is looking like he's on that danger zone bubble, as well as David. Where is Andy as of right now? He's just coming on his in-lap. So just under 7.5 minutes to go. Pleasant Snake now starts his flying lap, so we'll keep an eye on the Ferrari driver. Ferraris are currently trying to chase Mercedes for the constructors' lead. So I will just check the standings in just a moment for you. But the two Ferraris have been working together. They haven't been decent results. They've been getting decent results. Snake found his way up from 6th to 4th last week, and Truckster, who sadly got -3 due to his tyre life just dying out on him, found himself from 4th to 7th place, but still a good haul of points for the Ferrari camp, and the Ferraris find themselves in 3rd position, only 8 points behind the Mercedes, which of course consists of Herman and his other teammate, Tarkin Gino. Can Tarkin Gino pull a bit of weight this week and try and give Mercedes an affirming lead? The McLarens seem to be struggling around here, so Ferrari could at least find themselves in 2nd place after the evening has proceeded. And now Pleasant Stake on this long straightaway separating 13 and 14. It is a magnificent spectacle to see these cars go down this very long street, approaching speeds of up to 210 miles per hour. And now then they have this heavy braking zone and through turns 14 and 15, then this medium speed left-hander turn 16, and now onto the exit. It's going to be Pleasant Stake across the line in a 1:31.753, so the Ferraris lock out the front row of the grid, but it's only qualifying 2. They'll just be happy to be in the top 2, so I don't think they'll need to go again. But Energetic 6 at the moment is the next to start his fly, but I do believe we also have a couple of cars, namely the Haas department, out on some flyers themselves. Of course, Trent Booty will be happy with this so far. He's seeing his home team, which is the Haas team, although not based in the Washington State. They're more based in Texas, I believe, if I remember correctly. or they might not be. I don't know for sure. If somebody can go and check up on that for me, that would be very much appreciated. But Jolly Boy John now up into 11th and gets that corner a little bit wrong. He might have Tokyo drifted that a little bit, but we'll soon see. Out of this group of cars he's surrounded by, he'll be the first across the line. And now we're going to see his lap completed, and that's a jump of up to 8th place. Now Brown will be next. One of the Alpine drivers on an outlap behind him, that was Danger David, is now starting his fight, so we'll cut to him in just a second, but we'll just see Brown see this lap out, and that's going to be a 1:32.440. No positional improvement though, so he is definitely on the bubble to be knocked out. Pleasant Slake still at the moment on his in lap, as we actually also have another driver in Tarkangino on well, I thought was a flyer, but he is down by quite a lot of time, so evidently has made a mistake, and in actual fact missing his front right end plate, and has had a spin there in turn 14 even. So that means he will be in a lot of trouble, because now he has to go in to the pits, repair his front wing, and then we'll lose time in the session. So Tarkangino is going to be cutting this very close indeed. At the moment, we have seen Danger David get relegated to 8th position just due to times coming down as the track has progressed. And Truckster saying he'll be watching as he... well, I wonder why he will be watching. Gee, can't see any reason there. You're just lazy. But at the moment, I think we might be saying goodbye to Tarkangino as Trent... well, no, sorry. That is Sarah confirming that they are based in North Carolina. So thank you very much, Sarah, and hello to you. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a good night, and I hope you enjoy the proceedings of SSRL here at the Shanghai International Circuit. We are on board with championship contender Danger David. He's just completed his lap now, and that will be safe. That is 3rd place with a 1:31.855. He will be safe to go through. An energetic 6 as well. Didn't quite catch his lap, but he is up into 5th position with a 1:31.961, so he is safe for the time being. Kovachka, though, is a bit of a different story. 1:33.980 hasn't really shown electric pace in this qualifying session. Watching for fellow sons come back. Oh boy, the banter is very strong here in SSRL. Tabran has also started a flying lap. Andy RJ is on an out lap himself. He's not safe in all things considered. Neither is Herman the German, so Herman will be looking to come out and try and prove, well, find that 1.1 seconds he found in qualifying 1. Remember, he got a 1:31.2 towards the end of the session. A couple of safety cars right there. Make sure you keep within the lines. Exactly, fellow son has understood the assignment and is ready to write 20,000 words. That'll be due by next week. Thank you very much. But anyway, as of right now, just seeing Kovachka complete his lap, and I think even he knows it's not the best. He was wiggling there, just coming into the final corner. Not optimal there. It is a 1:32.5, but that is only good for 12th position. So Tabran will be the next across the line, but no, he will not, because he has just got it all wrong. In turns 11 and 12, has to reverse off the racing line to allow other drivers to come through. That'll be Moksha down in 15th place. And all of a sudden, the Haas camp could be saying goodbye to one of their drivers. And that might be it for Tabran, unless if he could get things cooled down. But remember, those tyres will be overheating as well, so he's really got to slow down. And only 1.5 minutes to go. He's got no choice but to go out again on 2 lap old softs and try again. What has Tabran been thinking there? Does he have no fresh softs left, or is he just saying goodbye? Is he not? Did he not expect to get through? So, as we approach the final 1.5 minutes of the session, in your drop zone at the moment are Tabran, Kovachka, Quincy, Tarkangino, and the one we're watching right now, Moksha, down in 15th position. A brief swap there. Daryl up into 4th place with a 1:31.901. So he is safe from all of these shenanigans. He will go through to the next session. No problem. It's Andy RJ there with a 1:31.135. Looked like he was in a bit of trouble, but there we go. Andy will now be safe and just clutches it at the very last moment. So now Herman the German is on that bubble yet again. Danger David retires from the session, as does Energetic 6. That could be an interesting one, depending on what times these drivers find. It is a 1:32.3 3 to find. And at the moment, Herman the German also hearing the call, also wants to go faster. He is in that bubble to be knocked out, so it's going to be very interesting. Rush the Siri and Jolly Boy John haven't got out for another flyer. Daryl has, I believe. He's gone for, well, no, he's on an in-lap, so don't worry about him. The session now concludes. The countdown is complete. Rush the Siri retires from the session. I don't think he wants to look at the track because he might have made a grave mistake. Other drivers we need to see right now. Tarkin Gino also on a flyer. He's just coming through turn 7 right now. The sweeping left-hander Quincy is in sector 3 as of right now as well. But Moksha will be the first to cross the line. Oh my word! What an improvement! Moksha pips his teammate and is up to 4th place. Herman the German is in the drop zone as of right now. So Herman is finding improvements, so he's up nearly 0.8 of a second in sector 2. But now, who is next to cross the line? It's gonna be, well, no, it's not Andy Andre, that's for sure, as the Aston Martin peels into the pit lane. So Tarkin Gino is out. What about Quincy? Quincy gets it all wrong into turn number 14 there, but can he carry the momentum potentially, or any magical momentum that he might have earned there? He's not giving up. He's gonna see this to the line. It's gonna be not enough. He qualifies 15th, so he is out. But Herman the German is the one we're keeping an eye on. He could knock out Jolly Boy John. He does. It's a 1:31.374. He will be safe to go again and rush the series. Oh, that was a tight one there. That could have been game, set, and match, but the McLaren, again, also by the skin of his teeth. Energetic 6 has been close to being dropped in both sessions, but still makes it through, as does Rush the Siri himself. But the drivers we are saying goodbye to are Jolly Boy John, Tabran, Kovachka, Tarkin Gino, and despite his best efforts, SSRL Quincy, who will qualify 15th, and, well, he will have a fellow son for company on his grid spots. You need high wings here, says Trugster. If he says that, hey, he's up in 2nd place and only nearly 1.5 tenths off pole position, so that should actually be good enough. Rusty as hell, says Quincy. Now, of course, one element, well, I'll actually come back to this when we get closer to the start of the race, but right now we will just now have official confirmation. The drivers that are knocked out are Jolly Boy John, Tabran, Kovachka, Tarkin Gino, and SSRL Quincy. Jolly Boy John knocked out by a couple of attempts there, but Rush the Siri, of course, deciding not to go on a final lap, probably to save tyres. But Andy Andre takes the fastest time of 1:31.135, the fastest of the qualifying session so far. And now, while we don't have to worry about any drivers being knocked out now, we can just worry about who will go fastest. So 1 to 10th will be decided in the next 12 minutes. Of course, we have an extended qualifying session, as we've done all 3 sessions like a real life F1 weekend would do. And of course, we will be repeating this format again once we come to the end of the season in our final race. And boy, does that love to throw up some surprises as well. Daryl, who's been the first out in all 3 sessions, will he go ahead and do the same here? He is currently down in 10th place, but with no time on the board, so that won't be final. But what about the Ferraris? They've been looking very pacey, and Danger David as well. He would love a good qualifying, and his race pace has been impeccable. He would love a top 5 start. Of course, last time out, he qualified in 3rd place, and boy, he would love to repeat that, as now we are starting to see movement in the garage, and in actual fact, it's one of the Ferraris. It's Trugster who's first out. Daryl won't be happy. His first out streak comes to an end in qualifying 3. So Daryl now is the 3rd out at the very least, so is still in the top 3, and Energetic also followed suit as well. The only McLaren to go through to all 3 sessions. He'll be a bit annoyed that his teammate, fellow son, played the qualifying all sorts of wrong, and now well, he's flying the flag for McLaren in these 3 sessions as of, well, as of tonight. Let's see if he can do the same going into the race, or will fellow son find a way through the field. But at the moment right now, Trugster will be the first to set a flyer, unless if Energetic 6 wants the track space and gets ahead of him. we'll see how that all works out. But at the moment, a flurry of cars out on the track. Well, in fact, 7 out of 10 cars. Moksha, Rusasiri, and Snake deciding to stay in the pit lane and will wait probably for the first wave to complete their flying laps, as Quincy is actually encouraging Fellow Sun to go for a fight. There, of course, they'll be starting alongside each other, 15th and 16th, as Chugster, Daryl Gaming saying that his wings are maxed out. Goodness me. That is a very high downforce setting. You have no straight line speed at all, do you, Daryl? But anyway, it served him well so far, if that's what he's talking about. But we're going to see the Ferrari of Chugster next on to a flying lap. One of the Red Bulls has also made their way out. So now we have 8 out of 10 cars on the track. It is only Pleasant Snake and Rustasiri in the pit lane as of right now. So maybe the Red Bull, I think that is of either no, it's Moksha, who's come out, as Andy Andre also starts his flyer as well. And then Herman the German actually not too far behind him. So Herman the German going early as of right now. But Chugster is one we are on board with. The 131.2 in the previous session. So he could be on his sights for pole position. And this would cause a further mix-up in the Constructors' Championship. Remember, going into this, the Constructors were only separated from 1st to 6th by... Oh, as we see a McLaren going all wrong there. That was Energetic 6. Definitely made... Well, did he make contact with the wall there? I don't see any visible damage. There might just be a bit of talent damage. In fact, I do see that the floor on the sides there looking a bit worse for wear. So maybe there was a bit of contact with the floor there. But otherwise, lucky to get away with that. And Ral Energetic will have to come in again. He can get that car repaired. He has ample time. But in terms of a first flying lap, he will have to write that off for the time being. Now, Chugster will be the first to come across the line and complete a flyer. It is going to be a 131.421. Nice banker there from the Ferrari driver. As now one of the Aston Martins will be next across the line. That's going to be Daryl there. I had to make his way through traffic, so this might not be a representative lap. It's a 131.9, a bit slower there from the Aston Martin driver. And now we'll go to Andy Andre just coming through the final quarter of 16. That might have been an invalidation, but it wasn't. Game didn't pick up on it. That was a 131.706. Oh, Herman the German was straight into the pits, actually. He invalidated his lap there. We haven't seen that happen too often. As now Danger David is next across the line. That's a 132.0. So he's not quite finding the pace in the last qualifying session. Race Trace next across the line from 8th to where? To 3rd position, a 131.707, 1,000th of a second, separating 2nd and 3rd there. So that could be one to watch over the session. Moksha is the next to set a lap time as Pleasant Snake just starts his flyer as of right now. He's approaching turn 1, and I believe that's with Rush the Siri as well. So the first wave has been completed, and that's what these two were waiting for, but neither one has given ample space. So I do think maybe Rush the Siri will have to back out of that. But at the moment, we will keep an eye on Moksha as of right now, because he's just approaching the 2nd DRS zone on the track on this long straight, which feels like it's never ending. But then here you go, turn 14 comes at you quicker than you might think. Bit of a lock up there into the corner, but didn't affect his entrance too much. And now a yellow flag in sector 3 for a slow moving vehicle. That'll be the Williams of Andy Andre there, but nothing to report in reality. And that is going to be a time of a 132.6, and that is put him up into 6th position. So next across the line, I believe, will be Pleasant Snake and then Rush the Siri. Doesn't look like these two have got in each other's way all that much. And it looks like they did just about enough to keep out of each other's way. But I think Rush the Siri will be benefiting from a slipstream effect here, which you can't really blame him for. He might have played this one beautifully. We'll see Pleasant Snake first cross the line, and then not too long after, we'll see the time from Rush the Siri here. So through turn 16, we'll see what the time comes out to. 130, 131, that's a 131.5, and Rush the Siri with a 131.2. Great lap, and I think that was helped by the fact that he had slipstream from the Ferrari driver in front. What a lap from the Ferrari, well, from the V-Carb driver. Beautifully played. That was amazing. An energetic 6, who of course we saw spin round on his first flying lap, has now, well, gone on his out lap. Monkshoe as well is on an in lap as of right now. Race Chase is currently on a flyer himself. He's just gone through Sector 1 right now, so we'll keep an eye on him. I believe Pleasant Stake is down the road there, but of course we just saw him complete his lap. So at the moment, we've got a V-Carb, Ferrari, top 3, but I don't imagine it will stay this way. Herman the German's still in the pits and yet to set a time, so he's waiting for Track Evolution to come to his side. As now the McLaren of Energetic 6 makes his way past the slow-moving V-Carb and the Ferrari, but of course, Energetic just on an outlap as of right now as the Ferrari of Pleasant State getting out of the way for the fast race Red Bull of Race Chase here, and they will both see the Red Bull in their mirrors. The V-Carb, oh, don't want to get in the way of the sister team there, buddy, and well, he actually has to overtake the McLaren to get out of the way, and there you go, all said and done without impeding Race Chase. History loves to repeat itself here at SSRL. Of course, last week, well, we had Mr. Wouter here. That's the only difference, but it doesn't seem like we're... Oh, no! Race Chase abandons the lap, goes wide, nearly does a Lewis Hamilton in 2007, but comes into the pits. And he's just got under 4 minutes to go, as now Energetic will be the next to start a flying lap. One of 2 drivers that hasn't set a flyer so far. Herman the German still in the pits as of right now. And is he leaving this one a bit late? He has several bankers from previous sessions, but how is the track in this session? Is it on a different evolution cycle? Is it now fully evolved? Is it now in that optimal grip limit, as Truckster behind the McLaren has started his outlap as well? So he'll be one of the first to complete a lap. No movement in the pits as of right now from anybody. We're seeing now an Alpine, and that will be of... no, it's not an Alpine. That's of Rust... Who is that? I'm not quite sure who that is just coming through turn 1. That's Andy Ardre. I do apologize there. That is my bad entirely. But at the moment, we need to keep an eye on Energetic 6. Yet to set a time. But Andy Ardre is in contention for pole. Set a 1:31.1 in qualifying 2. And it's been the fastest time as of right now. Daryl now comes across the line. There is movement in the pit lane. One of the drivers on an outlap. It's one of the Red Bulls. It's Moksha. As of right now, and Race Chase's teammate following on behind him as of right now. So both Red Bulls now out on the circuit. Herman still with no movement, and Energetic 6 is about to complete a lap here. And it's, well, it's looking okay so far. We'll see where this ends him up in just a quarter's time. I don't think this is going to be a quick lap, you know. I think this will be 10th. It's a 1:34.0, and those are fresh soft tires as well. So not the most impressive lap from the Dutch driver. And Herman's still in the pits with 2 minutes to go. Still no movement from him there. We'll keep an eye on that as Truxton now does start his flying lap. As we have a caution in Sector 1 for any odd reason. I think a V-Carb was involved there. Yeah, I think it was just a slow-moving V-Carb as of right now. Herman the German making his way through the pit lane. Has only got Andy Ardre to worry about, and he's actually just coming across the start-finish line now. But it was a bit of a slow time from the Romanian driver, 6 seconds off the pace. So he will go again on 1 lap older soft tyres, as Herman will have seen that, but doesn't get out of the way as he's currently going through turns 3 and 4 as we speak. So he's not too far ahead of this Williams, but... we are about to see some changes as Darrell improves his way up into 3rd place there. 1:31.580. That will be the last we see of the Aston Martin in this qualifying session. Truckster is starting to complete his lap as well, as is Energetic 6. I imagine he's got more in the tank. As of right now, he's just approaching turn 13, so he might have just been doing a bit of a reconnaissance lap more than anything, and now he's going to go aggressive. So as of right now, through turn 16, Energetic 6 final flyer. What is it going to be? It is going to be a 1:31.676. That promotes him up into 5th place, and that was a good lap from the McLaren driver. But now Chuckster is up next. and it's pole position at 1:31.0. So you now are looking at a 1:30 to beat. Pleasant Snake is on an outlap as well. Rush the Siri not too far behind. But we also need to see Herman get across the line. 25 seconds. He will have just enough time. But Andy Andre also in this traffic. He is 600ths down on his time as of right now. And through turn 16, he comes through. This will be the last we see of the current world champion. It's not going to be enough. It's a personal best improvement up to third. But that will be about it as now Rush the Siri, well, it's going to hang tight to this Ferrari. The session now concludes, and Herman the German did just get across the line in time to start his flying lap. But at the moment, well, Andy Andre is well getting out of the way as well in dramatic fashion. Pleasant Snake and Rush the Siri line astern together. And of course, he'll be benefiting as Moksha now completes the time. He goes up into 8th place. Danger David also just going around this left-hand sweeper. He is just behind these two drivers. But Race Chase will be next across the line. It's a 1:31.3. He's up into third. The Red Bull finds the top 3. Race Chase now up into third. Great qualifying from the Red Bull here. Trugster as well is on an in-lap, so it doesn't matter what he does. And Energetic 6 is in the same position now in 7th. So we go to the Ferrari of Pleasant Snake, who has got the V-Carb and Danger David behind him for company. But I think the V-Carb of Rush the Siri has abandoned his lap. He certainly has. Was 700ths down there, so I think he's just abandoned the chase for the time being. But now, Pleasant Snake is going to be across the line any moment now. What is the lap time going to be? It is going to be a 1:32.2, 1:31.2 even, I apologize. That's actually Rush the Siri. Oh no, Danger David up into 5th, 1:31.4. And now we have Herman the German in the background sliding across turn 16. 7th place. Oh my word, but there was nothing in it at all. Half a second separating 1st to 7th. That was incredible. And a 1:30.9 was on the card, says Daryl. Was 8 tenths up, messed it up, so 3 tenths up. So annoyed. Oh, I'm so sorry, Daryl, that that's still 8th place. But Herman the German will be bitterly disappointed. He will have to find inspiration from last week and try and find the positions in the race. Of course, remember, he qualified 8th last week in Interlagos and still found his way through the field to finish 3rd. So this is not unfamiliar territory for your championship leader, but Danger David out-qualifying him will come as a relief. And the Ferraris as well, out-qualifying them, both McLarens, will be of great relief as well. But the Red Bull as well, the pace here looks good as well. But let's go through your final results for the top 10. It is Trugster on pole position, an impressive lap. Rush the Siri in 2nd place, Pleasant Snake 3rd, Race Chase in 4th, Danger David 5th, Andy Andre in 6th, Herman the German 7th, Daryl in 8th, Energetic 6th, 9th, and Moksha rounding out the top 10 in the Red Bull. So Energetic, only one flying the flag, but again on the edge of the session, which has been a very familiar sight from him. But either way, he's the one who makes it through all 3 sessions. So, as of right now, we are going to go for a quick break. Quincy did say no rain expected, but we will have a few minutes. So we have a 20:30 start, 6 minutes to go. So we will be right back. I, of course, will pop on the synth wave for you. And then we'll take it from there. So, everybody, don't go anywhere. You've got one hell of a race coming up. And I promise you, it'll be an exciting one. Don't go anywhere. Okay, any second now, we should be underway, but first and foremost, very warm welcome back to everybody here watching, and from everybody at SSRL, thank you for spending your evenings with us. We are at the moment just waiting to get underway. There's been a bit of a question in the Discord. Should Tabran take more fuel? He doesn't remember, but of course, in good bantery fashion, Rush the Series says, yes, you should take lots more. As now our formation lap is about to get underway, so we will play the countdown music And we will now go through your grid for a final time. So in pole position, we have Trugster, who is starting on the mediums, and Rush the Siri in second place, starting on the mediums as well. Pleasant Snake in third, starting on the hard tyres, going hard early, then going softer towards the end. Race Chase in fourth position, and then Danger David on the mediums, starting fifth. Race Chase on those hards. Sixth is Andy RJ, starting on the mediums. Herman also starting on those mediums in seventh. Daryl in eighth, starting on the mediums. Energetic 6 starting in ninth on the mediums. Moksha rounding out your top 10 from qualifying 3, starting on the mediums. Now, outside of that, your qualifying 2 knockouts, starting from Jolly Boy John, who will be on the mediums. 12th is Tabran, starting on the hards. 13th is Kovachka, starting on the hards as well. Tark and Gino in 14th, starting on the mediums. And then, of course, the last driver to make it out in qualifying 2, it is Quincy, starting on the hards. And then the drivers, the biggest upset from qualifying 1, Fellow Son, getting knocked out. He starts on the hard tyres and will go mediums towards the end, I would imagine. Then we have Quad in 17th, starting on the mediums. And finally, the 18th place runner, the Williams of Skid Solo. It could have been if Andy Andre got into pole position. An interesting Williams sandwich, but sadly, couldn't quite come to fruition. He starts 18th. So now Trugster will lead the entire field. Look at that. They're trying to get their tyres up to a working temperature. And at the moment, as you can see there, it's going to be interesting because a lot of drivers, and I alluded to this earlier, will be thinking about the smoke which is coming off the tyres. Now, of course, EA did a little update to that smoke that you are seeing right now. But as you can see, it's kind of made the visibility much, much worse. You could arguably say that's taking inspiration from their EA WRC game. Although I don't think that would be quite the inspiration they were looking for, as we don't have the best of camera angles to make the start out. So we will go on board with Pleasant Snake for the countdown of the lights, and then we will take it from there. But anyway, all 18 drivers should be on the start-finish straight, and they certainly are. Skid Seller will now get us into position. Oh wow, there's a Ferrari there doing a Max Verstappen in Brazil there, and just deciding to skip everybody. I mean, that is one way of getting to your grid stop, but that will be Energetic 6 as he was on the left-hand side. But now the countdown will begin. DRS is disabled. We got 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's go in China, and that was actually a good start from the Ferrari of Trugster, but Andy Andre as well, now from 6th to 5th, 3 wide here for Danger David, the Red Bull on the inside of turn 1, Andy Andre in the middle, Danger David around the outside. Can he make the momentum work? That's of the Alpine driver. They're still side by side, and there's a bit of contact between the Red Bull and the Alpine, but at the moment Danger David's surviving, but Andy will have gone away from that slightly, but in 4th position. Bit of contact with the McLaren in the background as well, and at the moment there's still a lot of action going on up and down the field. Herman the German up into 6th position as of right now, and look at Andy Andre there around the outside of turn number 7 on Pleasant Snake. What a start from the Romanian driver as they remain side by side through turns 8, now 9 and 10. Ferrari with the inside, Williams with the outside. What a move from the Williams there. First lap, most risk as Tarkin Gino has gone all wrong there. He is spun out. We will continue racing. He's in the middle of the racing line as of right now. As now Daryl and Dave David does a Red Bull off of Race Chase, who was up into 4th, but is now dropping down like a stone to water, and that's very unfortunate. As now we have a caution in centre 3, but we all get racing again, and Race Chase down to 17th position as of right now, but the top 3 line astern together as Danger David trying to make a move on the Mercedes of Herman. So despite all of that, Herman very much where he started, as we see Moksha and Energetic go side by side, but Fellow Son up to 11th, so the start works out nicely for him. Trugster, of course, first across the line with fastest lap of the race, but that was a lot of action there. Take a breath as Race Chase already up to 16th there in the background, as we've had a pit stop from Kovachka there, so he must have suffered damage. We'll keep an eye on that and see how things go. He started on the mediums, so he'll be going on to another set of compounds there, but Now, DRS activates this lap. Look at how Andy Andre has closed up 3 positions from 6th. Daryl up 3 himself from 8th. So he really needs to try and get past Pleasant Snake. So Pleasant Snake being the cork in the bottle, and that is only because of the tyre he has chosen to start on. And that is, of course, the hard tyre. So he's not going to be up to pace with these medium runners in the early stints of this race. It is lap 2 out of 28. And, well, he won't be able to fire those up. I imagine this will be an easy overtake for Daryl here. But also, we need to keep an eye on the leaders because Truckster is doing a good job. He's not won in the 2 seasons I've been commentating here and is now in a good position to do so as Daryl makes his way past sooner rather than later on the Ferrari. That hard tyre strategy not working out in this moment in time, but also has no DRS, so Danger David will also have a go. No moves in the top 3. This is where the battle is. Oh no, Herman making contact with the Alpine there and 3 wide into turn number 14 even, and now out of 15, Herman still not able to overtake the Alpine there and put his front wing at risk as now Andy RJ with the fastest lap of 1:34.665, and now Danger David and Herman will do battle yet again, and Herman easily able to pass the Alpine of David there. Of course, these two in championship contention right now, but look at this. David have to wait, but there is contact through turns 2 and 3, and contact again as it continues. These two are going rougher than a NASCAR pairing, and look at this. They're cutting each other off. Oh my word, don't get too rough there or the stewards might have something to say, as again there's contact between them. These two are showing no love lost, but that's Daryl there. So Daryl even finds himself involved in all of that. He must have made a mistake going through turns 2 and 3 there. So Daryl then found himself on the end of some contact as well. I guess if you pick on one, you pick on everybody. At least it's fair and square. But now Daryl will have a bit of pressure behind from Danger David now after that piece of contact. I don't think he'll be very happy though. As now I think David will have a bit of side pod and potentially floor damage as well. And Pleasant Snake just trying to hang on to the back of this, to be honest with you. Just wants a good result for the Ferrari department. As the McLarens there in the background as well are going side by side with one another. And look at that, DRS for 2nd place. Andy RJ there nearly making a move, but we'll have to cut back momentarily to this battle for 5th, which is rather engaging as Jolly Boy John and Fellow Son are doing battle for 9th. Fellow Son gets the move done there, but Jolly Boy John on the fight back as of right now. But Fellow Son gets that done rather easily. Race Chase still trying to recover there. There's Quincy. That was Quincy going off there, not taking the racing line. As now Jolly Boy John is overtaken by the teammate of Fellow Son there, round the outside into turn 1. That was an impressive move from the McLaren driver there. And someone needs to clip Quincy just going wide there, because that was rather funny and potentially meme-worthy there. Meme within SSRL should be fun. As we've had another moment here. Kwan has actually just lost out a couple of positions under DRS. We've had a yellow flag very briefly for a slow-moving vehicle. However, everything stays as it was for the time being. But Herman the German in a bit of trouble here. So hasn't been able to escape the crutches of his championship rival, or immediate championship rival, but his other championship rival from last season as well is up in 3rd place, and he is currently battling with Truckster and Rush the Siri, so a safety car will be needed to bring him into contention, or unless if he can work with David to try and bring the gap down, but they are carrying a whole pack of cars with them as well. They've got all the way down to 11th place being carried, although I say that now, it's now 9th thanks to the DRS gap being created. And now Danger David looking to make a move on the Mercedes driver potentially. No move done at all. In fact, no moves up and down the field there, although as soon as I say that, through turn 14 goes the Red Bull of Moksha there, as the McLaren in the background there with a mistake. Energetic has sadly had something happen to him, as I've been clicking on the wrong button there, but at the moment continues racing like nothing happened. And now Herman the German has been overtaken for 4th place and now finds himself in danger from the Aston Martin of Daryl behind. So a lot of changing and swapping within the battle for what is essentially 4th place as of right now. And Pleasant Snake starting to lose touch on these hard tyres. Looks like these were not the ones to start out on, but he is looking to have the advantage towards the end of the race. So out of these pack, out of this pack, he'll be the one that will be running the farthest on these tires. So, as of right now, Pleasant State just trying to keep that gap at underneath a second, but has fellow Sun and Moksha for company, so he won't be alone in that regard. But now, we're starting to see a change for 4th position here as Herman gets alongside Danger David. But that's before the DRS detection zone. There it is, that white line painted on the exit of turn 12. Now through turn 13, through just this long right-hander. And Danger David will have the DRS yet again. And look at this, though. We're starting to see a swap for the lead of the race. We're going to go 3 wide into turn 14. Surely not. Andy backs out of it, and smartly so. The camera cuts off very rudely the action, but at the moment it is still the Ferrari and the Williams alongside one another. And guess what? It is another outside magnificent from the Williams driver, and that was incredible battling there as Truckster is now relegated from 1st to 3rd in a matter of corners. As we've had a raid from Hands in the Garden. Hello, thank you for the raid, Hands in the Garden. We are in the middle of some commentary for Formula 1 sim racing at the moment, so I can't pay too much attention to chat, but thank you so much for bringing 11 viewers to the channel. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast so far, and hope to see you around, and you can say hi if you so wish. But at the moment, Truckster now up into 2nd position in that top 3, so gets a place back from Andy Andre there. Of course, Andy, the current world champion in SSRL from Season 3, and was taken, as I like to remind you, in certain circumstances which weren't all kosher, and the guy who was involved in that was Rush the Siri. So Andy also needs to be a little thankful to the leading driver here, but of course that was all last season, so all the slates have been cleaned. Hello, Hands in the Garden. Hope you have had a good stream. If there's any moderators in chat, please give a shout out to the Raider. But at the moment now, on to the long straight here in China. It is now DRS open for Truckster and Andy Andre, and I imagine Truckster wants that lead back quicker than you can say snap. He gets it. Andy as well will be having a go and gets that done rather safely. And in the background, we see a swap for 4th position between David and Herman, the German here. And at the moment as well, there's some other swaps happening as well. Pleasant State gets past the Hungarian of fellow Son for 7th position. So looking like there's a bit of an entertaining battle here as well. Skid Solo and Quana having a fight with one another. And this is for one of the back end positions as Quana's got that corner all sorts of wrong. Now into the kink of 15. And at the moment, that's all said and done. As of right now, so Takajino up into 15th, but for how long? Of course, we have the 2nd DRS zone to come, which leads into turn 1. And as of right now, as well, just to kind of bring a bit of perspective here on the race, it is the top 15 that will score points as of right now. So Race Chase as well, who had an appalling start to the race, got involved in an instant, is up to 14th as of right now. And he's catching the back of Tabran. He is on hard compounder tires, so that might start working better than the mediums, but that's going to take another few laps. Thank you for going to my friend's channel, you lovelies. Enjoy whatever he's talking about. Thank you very much. Yet again, of course, a friend of mine outside of Twitch as well. Hands in the Garden, do give her a follow as well. But anyway, Daryl is now in 6th position, trying to hang on to Herman and David in front. And here we go. We are going to see another DRS train. And of course, DRS is where that rear wing opens. So that can only be activated in certain zones. And you must be underneath a second of the car in front. And David gets back into 4th place. And I think they're starting to work together to try and catch up to the top 3. Because that gap has gone down to 3.3 seconds, but Pleasant Snake and Fellow Sun go side by side again. They just really need to keep within the trains here. That's what this game is about. The DRS and ERS is very powerful around here. And what do I mean by that? It's an energy recovery system which you get to dump. Yay, F1. I understand F1, says that simply super. Oh, super sweet of you. All right, take care. Thank you, and thank you for the follow. That's simply super. Sorry, I said super. So I understand what he's saying. Oh, thank you very much. At the moment, though, Danger David's starting to catch up, but only using the DRS of Herman, and they've got a bit of a gap behind as well to the Aston Martin. So at the moment, this is looking very good for the people who are currently trying to use DRS of one another. So this could become a bit more of a train before the end of the race, and we have just knocked out 8 laps, so a bit of a few things to go through. Andy Andre, starting from 6th position, is now up into 2nd place. Of course, he's on a World Champions drive, and Herman, who was, of course, in competition with Andy, and you look at that tyre smoke, it is so thick. I'm sorry to just kind of go off point there, but that is just an update from the game from EA, and you just can't see going into the corner. That is, well, I don't know how, and we all know how the drivers feel about that. That's for certain. They're not happy about it, so I wonder if that's going to have to go to the drawing board yet again. But as of right now, we have got Daryl outside of DRS to the cars in front, as well as now Danger David and Herman go side by side with one another. And it's Danger David who wins out for now, but at the pinnacle of 10th place here, we also have a swap between Jolly Boy John and the Haas and the Kicksauber of Quincy here. So they're in their own little battle. Of course, this is for the low share of the points, but every point is important, as Jolly Boy John will be the first to pit from 7 lap-old mediums, and I imagine he will go on to the hards for the rest of the race. So Jolly Boy John looking for the undercut here to try and get fresher tyres before they pit, and then just kind of overtake everyone while they are in the pit lane. We'll see if that works around Shanghai. It should do, considering how long the lap is. It takes about 1.5 minutes to complete a lap around the 3.6 mile circuit here. And we'll just see. At the moment, the winner is still all to play for. And there's a pack behind as well, trying to catch up to the top 3. So I think the top 3 are just going to have to do some sort of working together as well, just to keep them behind. And then once we get into the final few laps, we'll start to see people just go in for themselves. As Pleasant Snake now, of course, on the hard tyres, as his fellow son, and the 2 hard compounds are going to do side by side, battling with one another. Through turn 13 they go. Fellow son of Pleasant Snake going nearly wheel to wheel, nearly touching there on the back stretch, but there's been an accident in the background, and Aston Martin off the track gets back underway as the Mercedes of Herman swaps positions, and there was nearly a move there from the Ferrari, but thought better of it. Didn't want to be sandwiched in a battle he did not need to be in. And now the Aston Martin of McLaren goes side by side, nearly into turn 13, but thought better of it, as now Herman and Danger David are going to go side by side again into turn 1. And Danger David back past, but now Daryl and McLaren look at this side by side, and there's been a bit of an incident in the background as well, Haas, but they get underway again, so just a bit of a moment out of turn 14 there onto the kink of 15. But there you go. Racing will continue on. No safety car deployed as of right now. But fellow son has lost that DRS gap, so he needed to be underneath a second when getting the move done. And Herman the German now has a gap, and I don't know if you're Herman the German, is that something you want? You want usually more cars working with you, but then I have to remember Danger David is right there as well, and he is currently 3.2 seconds from the top 3. So as of right now, this is working in favour for him. Most of the races outside the top 10, they've become separated. That'll be because of pit stops and just pace differentials. So the battle really is within the top 9, as Energetic 6 has also lost touch with the battles. So a lot of the cars outside the top 9 separated out. So this is where most of the battling is coming from. Can Herman make a move into turn number 14 to try and get past? No. So they will have lost a couple of tenths there. No rear wing open for David because he was not underneath a second to the cars in front. But that gap still goes down through the corner. So maybe he's been conserving his tyres for this part of the stint, the latter half now. We should start to see changes as now Herman, and well no, Fellow makes a move, but only because Herman the German has gone into the pits. And Andy RJ, oh my word, there's a bit of contact with Rush the Siri there, as now Andy has made the move for the lead of the race. We have a caution in sector 3 for a spun out Haas. And do we have... No, we won't. I thought we were about to have a safety car there, but we don't. The Haas continues on. I think that's Jolly Boy John there as of right now, as now Herman is exiting the pit lane. No, he's just yes, he's just exited the pit lane now, just going through turn 1. He is on hard tyres for the rest of the race. So 18 laps on hard tyres. And Trugster has lost the DRS to Andy RJ in front. And now it looks like Trugster is struggling because Rush the Siri gets past very easily. And not in a section you... No, he's visiting his alien overlords. Ignore what I've just said. So at the moment, Truckster is having connection issues, and now that is why you're seeing -3/10 there on Rush to Siri. I think he was trying to take avoiding action for Truckster's internet, but now, well, he's in all sorts of danger now of losing the lead of this, well, of losing out to be winning this race is Rush to Siri, because now Truckster has got DRS on Andy yet again, and Danger David could have a go at Rush to Siri before long, and now Moksha making a move round the outside into turn 14, gets that move done, and now up into 6th. So not a bad race from the Red Bulls perspective either. We are still waiting though for things to change, as now we're starting to see pit stops. We see the other, has the V-Carb come in? Yes, so that's the V-Carb of Rush to Siri into the pit lane. And the top 3 have decided to stay out for the time being, so we will now cut to another battle, but everything becoming separated out thanks to these pit stops. So nothing to report as of right now. Aston Martin of Darrell is also out there, so we're just going to see, and it is hard tyres for these 3, as Herman the German, I think, has pipped all 3 of them. Indeed he has, so he effectively might have the lead of the race here. Herman with the undercut plays that smartly and only has 1 lap difference between the guys who have just pitted and Rush to Siri for company as well. In fact, no. Why am I getting confused? No, he hasn't, because Rush to Siri is just behind Herman in front of your frame there, and now Herman will have a move because the Red Bull needs to warm up its tyres, and around the outside he goes, and he gets that done nicely. Nice work there from Herman. We saw that from Andy earlier on in the race, and now Herman should be able to have free reign on the top 5 going forward. You see Quincy in the front of your frame there, not pitting yet, so he's still just going to be in the comparisons things, just lap traffic to Herman, considering his tyres are 10 laps fresher than the Kick Sauber in front of him. And look at that, Herman already has a gap to Race Chase behind, and we are about to see Rush to Siri do battle as well with the Red Bull. That's the sister team there, both V-Carbs, as Danger David now into the pit lane themselves. That's why positions have swapped within the top 5. And, well, we'll need to see how Herman the German does, as there's a V-Carb wide in the background there. But able to hold on to his position of 8th place. And now, look at that, just a bit sideways there. You saw Danger David leave his pit box. And look at that, Herman. Well, easy as you like. The undercut, powerful here in China. And now, Danger David, despite only having 2 laps fresher tyres, that could be the race right there and then. We'll cut to see what the interval is to the leader. That's 25 seconds, and Herman is not too far off the back of Quincy either. And I do think that the top 3 need to start thinking about pitting now, because it could be do or die for Truckster and Andy as well, because they will have Herman on their backs if they wait any longer now. Remember, these top 3 have yet to stop, and Fellow Son has done an excellent job of carving his way through the field and making it up to 3rd, and only being 5.5 seconds behind the lead. But sadly, Son's time has now run out. The Hungarian driver needs to make a pit stop sooner rather than later. And now, of course, we will have a look at some battles happening up and down the field. Herman makes his move on the Kick Sauber of Quincy, because needed to do that sooner rather than later. Now Danger David and Moksha will do battle yet again. In fact, that is Race Chase there, as now Andy and Truckster are in the pits as of right now. So it will be Fellow Son and Pleasant Stake occupying the top 2. And what does that mean for Herman here? Ferrari and the Williams already making their way out of the pits, I believe. They are just approaching the pit exit now, but here is Herman, and hasn't quite beaten Andy Andre, but he beats the Ferrari of Truckster, so that is effectively 2nd place. And now the Ferrari and V-Carb go side by side for a brief moment, but Herman the German finds his way onto the podium thanks to the undercut, but his tyres will be 3 laps older than the Williams in front of him. So that is going to be interesting to see how that works out, as now another car goes into the pit lane. That is of Kwan there. now into the pits, but the battle has now been reset, and it is last season's championship contenders who share the same piece of track. In fact, it's the top three as it was ordered last season. Andy in the lead of the race as of right now, and Herman in second place, and Russia Siri in fifth. Once the top two ahead have completed their pit stops, that is the only thing that is the only thing that is not reflective on the sheets as of right now. But Herman is going to start to have a go. He's got DRS on him, on Andy in front, as Moksha now makes a move on the kick Sauber in the background there. So up into 8th goes the Red Bull driver. And now, well, Trugster feeling the need to defend from Danger David there. But David makes his way up into 6th place. And Trugster might be slightly annoyed here, had the lead of the race at the beginning, but sadly now finds himself in a bit of a do-or-die situation. So once pit stops have worked out, he will be in 5th position at the moment. The top two still deciding not to pit, but look at Herman. He is the closest. Well, Andy has been the closest he's ever been to a win, but now Herman, well, has only one obstacle in front of him, starting from 7th position. His race pace and strategy calls have got him to this point in the race, and now it is playing out rather beautifully for the Mercedes driver. Down the inside into turn 4. Gets that move done, but he was going slightly wide on the exit. So potentially as Quan leaves the session, that will be a disconnection issue. So nothing to worry about there. He should make his way back. But now Herman takes what is going to be effectively the lead of the race. 10 seconds separates the Mercedes from the Ferrari in second place. And Moksha makes a move on Trugster there. And it just goes from bad to worse from the Ferrari driver. And Quan, very quick to come back after his disconnect. So little to no time lost there for the VCARB driver. He will continue on, but in 17th place, as now the Kicksauber loses on another position there. Or in fact, tries to fight back there. Bit of contact between the Kicksauber and the Red Bull, but nothing to report as of right now. So, your picture as it stands right now, Danger David and the VCARB of Russia Series fighting for 3rd, but the two in front here are fighting for the lead of the races now. We'll see. Oh, Trugster with a spin! Oh my word! It's all gone wrong for the Ferrari driver yet again, and now he is out of that fight that he so wanted to be in, as now Fellow Sun and Pleasant State make their pit stops, but they are going to drop like a stone to water. It's not going to work out for them, and a Red Bull in the background as well is going to make another stop, and that's Race Chase there. So I wonder if he's got damage to his front wing. We don't know as of right now. No, it doesn't look like there's any damage. This looks like a regular pit stop. He hadn't pitted yet. He was on 15 lap old hards and was trying to wait for a safety car, as he had made a mistake earlier in the race. So now there we go. These are the genuine standings as of right now. All pit stops have been completed, and now it will be a top 2 to the lead of the race. But Danger David will want to try and catch up there. He's on the hards and will be trying to make those last. He's up 2 positions from 5th. And he won't be happy. He's been undercut by his championship rival, as Quirky says hello in the chat. Hello, Quirky. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? It is good to see you. Hopefully see you tomorrow in the other league. But anyway, Danger David now is in 3rd place, but has no DRS for Helping Hand. But neither does Rush the Series through the detection zone, as Quan has left again due to more disconnection issues. So it is not becoming a very pleasant evening for the VCARB driver. And Andy, maybe taking a page out of David's book from last week, deciding to be the hunter for the final, well, I would say 12 laps of the race at the line, and then maybe make his move towards the end of the Grand Prix. As you can see there, they are line astern going in. So what? But Andy makes an early move, and Trugster has retired. Safety car deployed. Thanks to Trugster, he's had a moment coming out of turn 16. Let's see if we can see what's happened. But I think there's a free pit stop here. There is absolutely free real estate to be had here. And Race Chase will be annoyed. He could have just timed that, as Jolly Boy John gets a drive-through for speeding under safety car conditions. Do we catch what happened to the Ferrari? No. But now we will look to see where everybody stands in terms of strategy. I was waiting. Whoever just pitted after waiting has just walked out their village. Indeed. I know, right? That was the Red Bull. Yeah, that was Race Chase pitting in there. And he now finds himself behind Quincy. And Quincy's in the top 10. Quincy now with an opportunity to have one of his best finishes in the longest time. And we are going to see. Oh. And Truckster not happy with Rust of the Series. So there must have been an incident between the V-Carb and the Ferrari. I'm just looking at this on their Discord. And it seems like something has happened between them. I don't know if we can drag Truckster in for a quick interview. Hang on a moment. Let's see if we can. I'm going to try and get a mid-race interview. Let's see how opportunistic. I'm gonna take the opportunity right now. And we'll see what he has to say. Of course, if he can keep it clean, if he is listening, I would like to have a quick word with you. And just get a mid-race interview as we are under safety car conditions as of right now. And we are seeing pit stops as Moksha goes to the lead of the race. Fellow Son there, well, on 2-lap-old mediums. I'm still not seeing any movement from Truckster, so I don't think he'll be joining us. So that's understandable, so we will respect that. But now, well, the top 5, well, it's all changed around here because Daryl now has a shot at the win. Yeah, no, he says not now, and of course we'll respect that. And we'll leave him alone. And, okay. Well, we'll just leave it there for the time being. But Truckster, out of the race, causes the first safety car of the evening. And now, all of a sudden, the picture has flipped. And we are looking at a very different race now. The German pits and ahead. But Dage David also pips the Williams. Oh, dearie me. For Andy Andre, that is a nightmare scenario. And now Fellow Son might go from 16th to the win. And it is looking very good for the McLaren driver all of a sudden. At the moment, cars are scattered all over the track. Jolly Boy John retiring from the session evidently had something happen there. So what was 17 now becomes 16 for the race. So 16 cars to complete this race. And Kovachka on the softs. Is that on purpose? I think it is, you know. But the thing is, he's going to be using them up. So he's going to have to drive at a slightly slower pace just to keep those softs alive. As now we are approaching, well, the Sector 3 timing beam. And this whole pack will begin to follow on. Interesting now. So Moksha is your new leader of the race. Fellow Son in second place should have the jump when we get going because his tyres will be pressure. And now with this safety car, should be about 2 laps under. So it will be about lap 20. I would say either lap 20 out of 28. So either way, he'll have under 10 laps to serve on these medium tyres. And that should about cover the lifespan. And will be saving tyres behind this safety car as well. So this has really worked out beautifully for the McLaren driver. And of course, he dropped a few positions in the championship after last week's finish in Interlagos. But this has now just worked out beautifully. And Quan has joined back in as well. So he'll be with us for the rest of the proceedings as of right now. And he's also on 1 lap fresh mediums. So he will be good to go. So, at the moment, it is 11 cars that are in this safety car pack. Skid Solo is the next one at the moment to from the proceedings. I wouldn't poke the bear. Yeah, no. I just thought I saw an opportunity. I'd have a go, but if it was no, it was no. And of course, we will respect the fact that Truckster is probably incredibly annoyed and he doesn't want to spread that on the stream. So, we obviously respect this decision not to come to the comms box, and we will continue on with the coverage on the track. At the moment, we are under safety car conditions, and we should be under safety car conditions for another lap, and then we will be back under racing conditions, despite where the cars at the back may be. So sadly for Kovachka, I don't think those softs will last much longer. He is catching the pack that is in front of him, and Quan is also back with us, so they'll be going till the end of the race. So we should be underway, I think, next lap. At least that's what I think, but it will depend on how quickly this Aston Martin catches up. That's really the car we are waiting on, and it is Moksha in the lead of the race. So, as of right now, yes, I think we will go for another lap under safety car conditions. So it will be, I think, what is it? 3 full laps under safety car then? So it was from lap 18 and it'll be until lap 21. So that is perfect for Fellow Sun and all the medium runners here. For the hard runners, I don't know. Herman the German might have played that a little bit wrong there. And, well, that 11-point lead could soon evaporate to something much smaller by the end of the race. So he's got very quick drivers behind him in Rush the Siri, Andy Andre, and Danger David. All combinations you do not want behind. And, yes, we will be under another lap of safety car conditions. The whole pack catches up. And, well, it will be 21 laps out of 28 once we reach the start-finish line next time around. So 8 laps to go once this is all over. We will soon see who will be out on top. Do you think it is going to be Moksha or Daryl? Or do you think Fellow Sun or Pleasant Snake will have this? Or do you think one of the stoppers in Herman the German, Danger David, and DRJ or Rush the Serial will have this? Put your predictions in the chat now. Quincy as well has had an ecstatic evening. He is in the top 10 in 9th and could still benefit from a couple of positions if anybody ahead gets into a tangle. So for Quincy, he is going to be holding on for dear life through the rest of this race, and it is going to be thrilling to watch. Indeed. And the safety car is just going through Sector 2 now, and I believe... my prediction is that it will be a wild ending, says Sarah. I believe in Herman, so the German is where her stakes are at, and I just kind of want to go and see. I want to see... well, no, I don't want to see. I think Fellow Sun will take this. He's on 4-lap fresher mediums compared to the hards of drivers around him. A safety car is now called in by race control. Pleasant Snake could be in for a shock as well, but that will depend on how good his restart is. And now, well, it is all up to Moksha now, so we're going to go on board when the safety car peels into the pit lane. And I must say, this is quite an early call from race control here. We could have waited just a little bit longer and just waited till halfway down the straight here. We have got an excruciating rate for the safety car to peel in. So I think Fellow Sun will make moves and he will take the win of the race. That's who I believe will be in front, and Pleasant Snake will find himself on the podium, and that could shake up a couple of things in the championship. But now safety car is in the pit lane. It's up to Moksha, and he's already gone. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Now he's gone, and he gets an okay restart, but didn't follow the advice of a certain driver here. Slow down before you go, and now Fellow Sun has a run round the outside into turn 1 for the lead of the race. He cuts back with the over-under. Bit of a lock-up from the McLaren, still side-by-side, as now we see Pleasant Snake in the background goes side-by-side with Daryl there. Daryl making contact with the Ferrari, but it doesn't matter. The Ferrari still goes up into third, and there's Herman picking up the pieces. Bit of a yellow flag as well in Sector 1, but Herman does what he needs to do. Daryl down the inside there, and my word, that was nearly contact, but there's Danger David up into fifth as well. Daryl wild on the restart, and it hasn't worked out, but now Pleasant Snake and Fellow Sun on the back of this, and now Herman has made good with those fresh sets of hards, actually, so that is a surprise there that they are not making more inroads. But I think Moksha is just holding on for dear life. No DRS will be activated on this lap, and it's 2 laps after a safety car restart for the purposes of safety. Pleasant Snake there getting it all wrong there through the S section, and now Danger David side by side for 4th position. Here we go. Down the first long straight, of course, no DRS will be activated as Fellow Sun with the slipstream goes to the lead of the race. And there's Danger David as well, trying to get past Herman. There's Andy Andre there, trying to defend, and there's a bit of a moment here. And look at this, they all sort themselves out nicely, but Andy loses out on more positions. And look at this, there's also been a swap in the background. There's also been a caution in Sector 3. There's an Aston Martin going wide on the exit of turn 16. 16. And now look at this 3 wide down the start finish straight. This is insane. Andy RJ round the outside yet again. What a move. And in all of that, we sort of missed. Moksha and Danger David now going side by side with one another. In for third position, Danger David with a big snap out of turn 3. Side by side with the Red Bull as well. It's Herman the German. He's trying to hang on to the outside. There's Andy RJ in the background as well. Caution in sectors 1 and 2. It is a spun round Aston Martin of Darrell, who's currently just trying to recover to the circuit. But in all of that, the Pleasant Snake and Fellow Son have ran away, but Danger David says, not for long, buddy. I am still here, and is underneath 1 second to the car ahead, or was anyway. And Andy RJ still needs to catch up, but Herman has lost out on positions to both those drivers ahead. And now Quincy is fighting with Race Chase for 7th. As of right now, oh, and take a breath, kids, because that was so exciting. What the tire smoke? That's the update for you, Quirky. They messed it up. But anyway, now all of a sudden the action's going to pick up again. Danger David within DRS. So now this is a 5-car battle for the lead of the race. Fellow Son will hang on for now. It'll be 6 to go at the line. So now it is all or nothing for the McLaren driver in first. Andy RJ not quite within DRS, goes very wide on the exit there and has no DRS to boot, so Herman will have an advantage going into turn 1. Can he make the use of it? Not quite. He will just need to be ahead to try and extend that gap, because now he's probably got to accept that this is damage limitation to the Alpine driver in third. I imagine now David will start to charge down the 2 drivers in front of him. They are, well, he is on fresher tyres than the cars in front, but now Andy RJ is starting to reduce that gap as well now that he's all zoned in. As Rush the Series with a 3-second penalty. So all of a sudden Quincy is like, I have a chance now at one of my best results for the longest time. Herman has lost touch with DRS with Andy, so this is going to go from bad to worse for the championship leader, who might be a leader no more once we end the evening's proceedings, but still 6 laps to go. That hard tyre wasn't the best call. We knew the disadvantages. He knew the disadvantages of going onto the hard tyre. Maybe he didn't have a set of fresh mediums left, as now we've seen Tarkin, Gino and Moksha swap positions. This is a surprise to see Moksha down there. But that is how the evening has proceeded for him, as now we are going to start to see a change for the lead of the race. Here we go into turn 14. No one moves apart from Russ the Series on Herman the German there, as Russ the Series gets that turn all wrong and drifts into the corner. That will give Herman the momentum on the exit there, and Quincy will just be enjoying this because he could now finish in 6th position, which will be his best finish in God knows how long, as now Pleasant Snake to the inside, outside even of turn 1. Can't get it done. He is the only one flying the Ferrari flag now, so it means the McLaren might have one of its best finishes in the constructors if things stay as they are, and they could change at any moment. And at the moment, it is a 4-car battle for the lead. Herman has dropped off. I don't think he is going to catch up, as Andy RJ, late on the brakes, locks up both fronts there. And into turn 1 he goes as Race Chase and Quincy are doing battle with one another. There's a McLaren getting it all wrong there. That's energetic, as now Quincy holding it around the outside. And we saw Andy RJ do that at the beginning of the race. And Quincy is able to channel the driver, as Moksha has a moment through turn 4 there, but he'll sort himself out and continue racing. No need for another safety car as of right now. But also, for the top 4, they are about to come through the 2nd DRS zone, and here we go again. Fellow Son, do or die through this corner, well, through this straight. It won't be enough though. He might not be rugged by 1, not 2, but 3 drivers. Pleasant Snake to the inside almost immediately. Danger David follows suit, but does Fellow Son fight this back? He certainly does. They both make contact with one another, and Fellow Son eventually down to 3rd, but it's still there. There's still contact between them through turn 16. Who comes out best? Fellow Son with a bit of contact there. He needs DRS. He gets it, as Herman gets a 3-second penalty. So all of a sudden, Race Chase could benefit from all this. Herman's evening has gone all to shreds in this final half of the race, and as of right now, it is not getting better but getting much, much worse as now Quincy and the McLaren of Energetic are having a fight of their own. Energetic gets past him, no problem at all. And now he will, well, despite that 3-second penalty, up to 8th position. Moksha retires from the session into the pit lane. He's gone, and he's called it a day. He feels he can't go any further. Tarkangino into the pits on the soft tyre, and he can qualify for the fastest lap of the race. So, thank you for the follow. This is Rionak. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, by the way. I'm just in the middle of this action, but thank you so much for the follow. That was a textbook of how not to restart the race. No, it's not really a good restart. They'll be looking to stay in the lead. And indeed, Moksha goes from the lead to retirement. As now Danger David for the lead of the race. Up into first place he goes. And he's gotten past the detection zone behind the Ferrari. So he'll open his rear wing. At this moment, there we go. Ferrari has nothing to fight with apart from ERS and Slipstream. Fellow Son trying to fight back. And now we're going to go 3 wide for second place into turn 14. Here we go. And it's Andy Andre to the outside. He should have the momentum going through into turn 16, and he certainly does. There you go. Gets that all said and done. But Danger David, your new leader of the race, and I thought Fellow Son might have a chance, and he still does have a chance here at winning, as does Pleasant Stake. There's only 2 laps to separate the medium runners, but you do feel, based on consistent pace, it is now gonna be between Danger David and Andy Andre for the rest of the race, although that could still change at the click of a finger. Hello, Foxy, as well. Welcome to the stream. You are joining us for an intense final few laps. It has been a topsy-turvy Grand Prix, and it has come to one of the most exciting conclusions. The top 4 are battling for the lead of the race. Danger David will take the lead of the championship if things stay as they are. Herman is not having a good day, and he will suffer more with track limit penalties to serve at the end of the race as well. Remember, you cannot serve those in a pit stop. They have to be served in the race at the end. So now, as we go through the second DRS zone again, will we see more swapping? Fellow Son should be aggressive on the exit here. The top 4 separated by just over a second, but all of them will have DRS apart from David, who's of course the cork in this bottle. And now to the inside goes defensive, and Kovačka there, caught out by the defensive move. He goes extremely wide, nearly makes contact with the Alpine, but he will just reset. And now with 2 laps to go, that might have been his opportunity, unless if he can get a good run on the Ferrari, despite him having the DRS as well. Here we go into turn 1. Can he do anything? No, he has to slot in behind for the time being, so he will just have to wait it out yet again. And now, well, it's going to prove vital for Fellow Son to make a move sooner rather than later. Let's have a look at some other battles going on up and down the field. Quincy loses touch as we have a caution in sector 3. That is for Kwan there, but he gets back underway, so no problems at all. But as of right now, Quincy's starting to lose that advantage he could have had. Although he hasn't fully lost it yet, needs to stay within the DRS of Energetic 6. He could be up to 6th position by the end of the race, but it is imperative that he stays within DRS. Race Chase, though, will also be in for a good result. He'll be up to 5th place as soon as this is all over. He's had... Oh, no! No, he won't! He's just spun out right in front of me. Oh, come on! I literally just said he's on for a good result, and he spins right out. Oh, the commentator's curse on the Red Bull comes to fruition. That is one of the first times that has ever happened to me in that exact moment. As Quincy with a 3-second penalty, as now Fellow Son to the outside of Pleasant Stake gets that done, and it is indeed 3rd place for the McLaren driver. And now he has the top 2 in front of him. He needs to find something sooner rather than later, and Danger David is facing the same situation he faced last week. He got the win by half a tenth, but now he has got more cars to deal with, and as of right now, he's doing a good job. Into turn 1 he goes, still in the lead of the race, but looking for us, and there's contact between Andy Andre and the McLaren, and they still remain, and there's There's more contact. This is not working out for Andy Andre. This is not what the Williams needs as of right now. So can Andy Andre hold this out? Can he keep within that 1 second window? He's doing a good job as of right now, but that contact won't have helped him. That might have thrown him off a little bit. He just needs to kind of focus down and try and get on with it. At the moment, the top 5, well, from 5th to 8th, also all share 3-second penalties, so that's going to go down to the start-finish straight as well. But now we are approaching the final DRS zone of the race. Here we go. Danger David trying to break the slipstream that the Williams driver has. Fellow Son, bit too far back potentially, unless we can get a good run out of turn 13 here. But I don't think it's going to be enough, so it's all down to Andy Andre. Here we go. To the onboard we go with the Williams driver. David will be dumping his battery. No recharge on that Alpine. Here we go, though. To the outside. Oh, that's contact. Oh, my word. There is contact, and Danger David is sent off the track. He makes more contact. Oh, it's all gone wrong. Oh, my word. Fellow Son up in the second. Andy, though, will take the win on track, but I don't think that's going to stand. So it'll be Fellow Son to the win there. And third place goes to Pleasant Stake. Danger David in 4th there. How is Quincy there? Oh, my word. Oh, what? Holy moly, what an ending that was. And interestingly enough, Race Chase in 10th, Daryl in 11th, Kovachka in 12th, Skid Solo in 13th, Quan in 14th, eventually, Tarcantino, penalty incoming. Oh, what cheapers. Come back, baby, as Fellow Son will take that win. I promise you that. Danger David forced off the track, and despite the damage, he will come home 3rd. So that's a bit of damage reduction, and he'll be thanking Andy for that. But I do believe that win will be stripped. So don't take that as gospel. Oh, dearie me. Andy throws away what would have been his first win in SSRL this season. And it's going to go on to another week. But already at the halfway point, tempers flare up. But Fellow Son will go from P16 to P1. We will, of course, have interviews coming up right now. So let's see. Who is going to be brave enough? So we'll obviously have Fellow Son in. We'll have Andy in. We'll have Fellow in, and we will also have Fellow Pleasant Stake in. There we go. Figured it out eventually, as the champagne spoils the Williams, but they will not keep that victory. I promise you that. That was definitely a hyper-aggressive from Andy Andre, and I would dare say that Danger David even rejoined unsafely there, if you look back at that. So there you go, the unofficial results as Andy Andre takes the win. Fellow Son in 2nd, Pleasant Stake 3rd, Danger David 4th, Harmon the German 5th, Rush the Syrian 6th, Energetic 6th in 7th, SSRL Quincy 8th, but that's still a good result for him regardless. To Brand 9th, Race Chase 10th, Daryl in 11th, 12th is Kovachka, Skid Solo 13th, Quan 14th, 15th is Tarcangino, and your only non-finishers are Moksha, Jolly Boy John, and Trugster. Retfest forecast treating me like 10-pin bowling ball. Oh, goodness me. But anyway, we do have, Pleasant Stake here. I need to remember where he finished on track, because a lot happened in a short space of time. I think Pleasant Stake was 3rd, if I remember correctly. So we'll just wait for everybody to come in. And then we'll take it from there, as now... I think we have a confirmed win. There's Fellow Son also coming in, so he should be our winner, but I do believe we will speak to Andy Andre and get his opinion on that, because he unofficially took the win here. So we'll just wait for a couple of minutes. But there we go. Drama on the final lap. Contact between Danger David and Andy Andre, the 2 championship contenders. And then what looked like an unsafe rejoin as well in turn 14 from Danger David, also making contact with the Pleasant Snake and Fellow Son. So I don't know if Danger David will even keep his finishing position. We are actually going to have... Yeah, Andy RJ and Danger David No, Quincy, it was Andy RJ and fellow son and Pleasant Snake. Quincy, it was fellow son who's here, Pleasant Snake who's here. We're just waiting for Andy RJ at the moment. But that I can tell you for free right now, I am 100% confident. In fact, I'm 120% confident that win isn't going to stand. I promise you that much. But we will talk to Andy RJ, get his opinion on the instant, but not just that, his opinion on the whole race there. So we will take that as it comes. We are still waiting for Andy Andre to arrive. Until we hear word from him, we will then proceed. Oh, geez, says Quincy, and I can't blame him. You've got a long night ahead of you, bud. That's all I'm gonna say. And here we go. Our winner isn't here. So we've got the top three in the podium interview room now. So first and foremost, Andy RJ, congratulations on a win. That's slightly marred in controversy. We will come to that in a bit. But how do you feel about that race on an overall scale? If you're speaking, I can't hear you, Andy RJ.
Yeah, so, sorry, I'm just starting to hear right now. My phone signal isn't great. Uh, I suppose it's. I can ask you to say that again, please.
No problem at all. I'm just saying congratulations on the win so far. Obviously there was a bit of controversy at the end. We'll come to that in a second, but overall, you had a good qualifying, and then from sixth, and then you got up into the top two there, and you looked like you were battling for the lead for the longest time. How was that race unfolding, in your opinion?
Well, honestly, I'm happy about it. I think it was good. Pace was strong. Qualifying and race pace also. Unfortunately, I messed up my final attempt in the Q3. So yeah, I was almost 3/4 of a second from where I should have been in terms of lap time. But yeah, but the race is pretty long, and there's always opportunities to make those places back up. So it wasn't a big issue, and it all went pretty good. There was a few incidents here and there, but nothing major. Uh, and yeah, uh, regarding the final lap, the incident you just mentioned, uh, I think I'm safe with that one. I managed to take a look real quick. I changed the direction and to go for the overtake on the left. And yeah, David also went left to open up the corner for the hairpin, but yeah, unfortunately I was there, and there wasn't any room for him to make the entrance wider, and he ended up spinning. So I think I'm safe with this one, but we'll have to wait and see.
All right, so you're not taking the blame for that one. You feel you're in the right. So we don't. Admittedly, we didn't have the best of camera angles. We were watching from the broadcast. We had no onboard. Well, we weren't working with the onboards at that moment. So, in your opinion, your win is safe. Can I just confirm that?
Yes, of course. I just took a real quick look, but
Mhm,
from what I saw, I went left for the overtake, and then I
mhm.
just kept the wheel dead straight in the middle of the track. David was to my right, and he instinctively went left to open up the corner for the hairpin. But yeah, I was there, and the track was busy, and it's nothing. Yeah, it is what it is, and he ended up spinning.
Okay. Well, Andy, there you go. But that is, as of right now, your first win of the season. It's come after quite a while, you would say. What has been the real holdback this time around? It's taken you taken you 5 races to get your win. What was the struggle in the first half of this season?
Uh, I don't know, honestly. Admittedly, I haven't been practicing so much and putting so much focus into racing as the past 2 seasons. But still, I think I would have deserved to be a bit higher in most of the races. But yeah, I just happened to always get tangled in some sort of trouble. The first one I remember I misjudged the weather, and yeah, also some mistimed strategy calls. But I don't know. We'll have to see. The season is pretty long, and it's not game over at this stage.
Absolutely. Going into next week, we're off to the Red Bull Ring. How do you feel about your chances there? Can you repeat what you've performed here in Shanghai?
Oh well, currently it's not one of my best tracks, but a lot can change in a week, and I'm confident that with a bit of practice I can pull out a good result.
All right then. Andy, thank you very much for taking my questions. You can proceed with the rest of your evening. Congratulations again on the win.
Thanks, thank you too.
You're
Bye.
welcome. We cut now to our second place driver, and that is fellow son. Qualifying one couldn't have gone much worse for you, but you made it up and more. Congratulations on second place, fellow son. How was that?
Told you I will. I told you I'll make it come back. Yeah, well, it wasn't too bad actually. I just kept focusing on what's ahead of me and tried to not be in any incidents. The safety car came out fairly lucky for me. I knew that the guys ahead of me had to pit from the hards, or they would have pitted, and I had like 3% however. So I knew it was going to be all right until the end. Yeah, it's unlucky what happened in the end. There was a little bit of a bump in going into the last chicane in some of the laps. I feel like I can brake a lot deeper, or I was braking a lot deeper than some of the guys ahead of me. So I nearly ran into the back of Danger Dave, but luckily I managed to stay out of trouble.
Absolutely. We saw that moment there. And it brought you down to third for a brief moment, but then, of course, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Is that ending on the final lap with that contact between Andy Andre and Danger David? You had a good view of that. Now, did you have contact on Danger David's rejoin, or did he just avoid you?
No, I had contact and he broke my wing. So, but yeah, there's nothing that he can do. He was just sliding across the grass. Or I don't know if he tried to join back in. I have no idea about that. I know I had some contact that broke my wing. It really slowed me down as well.
Luckily, it didn't matter. But anyway.
Yeah, unlucky peasant couldn't go around us because that would
Yeah.
have been unfortunate.
But otherwise, obviously it's going to be up to the stewards. But do you have any other opinions, or are you just going to save it for the stewards' room?
I don't have to say anything, so I'd rather stay out of it.
Okay, then no problem at all. But otherwise, going into next week, we're at the Red Bull Ring. What are you looking at there? Is that a good track for you, or perhaps one of your weakest?
Yeah, I had a race on it yesterday, and it seemed to be I seem to have a good pace there. But it's all about the DRS. I think it's just going to be a lot of DRS trains, and the last couple of laps are going to be very interesting.
All right. Palestine, thank you for taking my questions. Congratulations on P2 again. That might turn into a win. So let's see what the stewards say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome. Now, P3 on track. It's Pleasant Stake there. First and foremost, welcome to the podium. Congratulations on P3. How do you feel?
Thank you. I feel good. It's good to be back. It's been a while. It's not been. I don't think I can't remember if I have ever been to the podium after Silverstone last season. So it's good to be back. I've been on. I can't remember, but yeah, it feels good. First part of the race, I was not feeling good at all. I was like, yeah, I'm not sure. I was struggling with braking for some corners that I usually don't struggle with braking, and also with this new update of the game with the smoke, like I struggled to turn into the apexes because I just didn't know where the apex was, and like if there was a car slowly in front of me, who knows. So I hope EA gets around and fixes this problem. quite quick.
Yeah, of course. And like that has been a lot of complaints even before I was leading into my commentary broadcasting this evening. Like, I saw a lot of drivers were struggling with the very same issue. So obviously, do you think that would have contributed to any incidents on track today, or do you think the drivers were relatively clean, barring a couple of things we saw here and there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, really sure what happened around me on track or like
Mm.
with incidents and stuff. But I would say it's possibly a chance that some incidents have happened because of the smoke.
Mhm.
But I don't know yet. I was sure it was going to be more incidents because of the smoke. So who knows?
All right. Obviously, like, at the moment, you're in a constructors' fight with McLaren and I think it's the Mercedes as well. Also with the Williams and kind of coming towards the back here. Now, in terms of your teammate, he obviously had a retirement with an incident that we didn't catch. He apparently was on Rush, was with Rush the Series as well. But how are you in terms of that? Are you communicating with your teammate about anything going forward?
Yeah, we are practicing together and stuff. Haven't yeah, we're trying to go for it together, but we don't stay in voice chat together on the races. So like last week, we ended up fighting instead and lost the DRS. So hope we don't continue doing that, because I think the last weekend would have gone quite differently if, because my plan was to like switch positions then, because I thought his tires were fading off, but they're apparently not. He was saying, but yeah. So, but yeah, we're definitely trying to get the constructor championship, but it's hard.
Absolutely, it's never
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
easy. Just going into Red Bull Ring next week. How are you and Trugster feeling about that?
I thought I had quite good race pace there, or decent at least. Not, but it never really has gone so that good there, in a way. I had a race there the other day or yesterday. It went horrible. I wasn't expecting the smoke and crashed into Quincy, for example.
Right.
Yeah. So now we will see. I don't have too high hopes, but yeah, if it's just to keep up in the DRS train.
All right.
And as you see tonight as well, anything can happen on the last lap if you're close enough.
Absolutely. All right then. Well, look, Snake, thank you so much for taking my questions this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you along, and I hope to see you again at some point.
I hope to see you as well. So,
right.
Yeah, thanks.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much again. Alright guys, well that will be all from SSRL this evening. Controversy towards the end of the race, but it looks like it will be one of our first turning points in the championship. Quincy has also confirmed that McLaren will take the lead of the World Constructors' Championship as of right now. So, interesting things that are happening here in SSRL, and we still have 4 more rounds to go. In fact, yeah, no, 5 rounds to go. I do apologize. So let's go into the calendar for season 4. As you can see, 5 straight weeks of racing up until the 17th of December. We go to Red Bull Ring, as stated, next week. Then the week after, it's Las Vegas. Then to Losail in Qatar. Abu Dhabi will be round 9, and then a finale in Spain of the Circuit de Catalunya, and that will be our second and final full qualifying session. And you know what? The drama just seems to ramp up that little bit more with these full qualifying sessions. I don't know what it is about them, but it throws up a surprise. Needless to say, though, everywhere else will throw up a surprise, I promise you that. But other than that, from everybody here and myself at SSRL, we all wish you a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Stay safe, stay alive, and we will see you next week at 7:30 p.m. GMT. Until then, bye-bye for now.